Ladies and gentlemen, we all have moments when we feel weak. We all have those days when the weight of the world presses down so hard that it feels impossible to get up. You feel like you're drowning, stuck, and defeated. But here's the truth: that feeling is not you. That feeling is a temporary state that wants to keep you small, keep you scared, keep you from stepping into your purpose. It wants to steal your future. But tonight, we're going to put those weak feelings in their place. You see, life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Success doesn't care about your doubts. Your potential doesn't depend on how you're feeling on a bad day. What matters is how you respond, how you choose to act, even when the feelings tell you otherwise. If you want to win in life, you've got to get up when you don't feel like it. You've got to push when you think you can't. You've got to kill those weak feelings before they kill your dream. Don't negotiate with them. Don't entertain them. Don't let them linger in your mind, robbing you of your greatness. Every time you get up when you feel like staying down, you build a muscle. Not just any muscle, a muscle of discipline, a muscle of resilience, a muscle of victory. These are the muscles that carry you through the storms of life. These are the muscles that separate winners from those who surrender. Weak feelings are parasites. They only live if you feed them. The more you feed them, the bigger they grow, until one day they take over your decisions, your dreams, and your destiny. But when you starve them, when you kill them with action, they die. And when they die, you rise. So from today on, I need you to make a decision. The next time you feel like quitting, remind yourself, I am not my feelings. When the doubt creeps in, say to yourself, this is just a test and I will pass. When the fear tries to speak louder than your faith, yell back, I will not be moved. Ladies and gentlemen, kill your weak feelings, because they don't define you. You define you. Your actions, your choices, your strength, that's who you are. Now go out there and live it. You've got to understand something. Feelings come and go like the wind. One moment you're on top of the world, full of confidence and drive, ready to conquer anything. The next moment you're down, doubting yourself, feeling like you're not enough. That's the nature of feelings. They're unpredictable, unreliable. They can lift you up, but they can also drag you down. The problem comes when we start letting these feelings dictate our actions. If you let how you feel decide what you do, you'll never get anywhere. You'll wake up one day ready to chase your dreams, and the next day you'll be stuck in bed, paralyzed by fear or doubt. But life doesn't work on feelings. It works on actions, and actions, my friend, leave a mark. Actions are the footprints you leave on the world. They're what people remember, what you build your legacy on. They're permanent. Think about it years from now. No one will care how you felt on a given day. No one will ask you how tired you were, how scared you were, how uncertain you were. All they'll see is what you did or didn't do. Did you show up when it was hard? Did you push through when everything in you screamed to quit? Did you put in the work day in and day out, regardless of how you felt in the moment? You've got to stop giving so much power to feelings. Feelings are like passing clouds. They may look big, they may feel heavy, but they move, they shift. And before you know it, they're gone. But your actions, what you choose to do, despite those feelings, that's what stays. That's what counts. So when you wake up on those days where the weight of the world is pressing down on you and you feel like you can't, that's exactly when you need to act. When you feel like giving up, that's when you get up. When the doubts creep in, that's when you make the call, send the email, do the work. Because once you act, once you push past those feelings, you start to see something incredible happen. Your feelings shift. That's the power of action. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates confidence. And confidence kills doubt. The more you take control of your actions, the less control your feelings will have over you. You'll start to realize that you don't need to feel strong to be strong. You don't need to feel brave to be brave. You just need to act. And every action you take, no matter how small, is a step toward becoming the person you're meant to be. Feelings may be loud, but they're not the truth. The truth is in what you do, what you commit to, what you push through. So when those weak feelings show up, and they will over and over again, you don't let them steer the ship. You acknowledge them, but then you act anyway, because actions last. Actions build. Actions define you. Let me tell you something about doubt. It's always going to be there. It doesn't matter how much you prepare, how hard you work, or how ready you think you are. Doubt will show up right before you take that leap. It will whisper in your ear, make you second guess yourself, and try to convince you that you're not enough. But here's the truth: if you're waiting for the day when you feel completely sure, completely confident, completely fearless, you'll be waiting forever. Success doesn't care about your doubts. It's not sitting around waiting for you to get comfortable, to feel ready. Success rewards action, not hesitation. It shows up when you push past the fear, when you step out, even though you don't have all the answers. Too many people let doubt stop them before they even start. They sit on the sidelines waiting for the moment when everything feels perfect, when the timing is right, when the plan is flawless, when the doubt disappears. But that moment doesn't exist. If you let doubt hold you back, you'll never move. You'll never take that first step. And that's the trap, thinking you have to feel confident before you take action. The truth is, confidence comes after you act, not before. You build confidence by doing the very thing you're scared of. You prove to yourself step by step that doubt doesn't control you. But you can't get there unless you start. Think about every great achievement, every success story you've ever heard. Do you really think those people didn't have doubts? Do you think they didn't question themselves? Of course they did. But they moved anyway. They took that step despite the fear, despite the uncertainty, and that's what made the difference. Doubt is a test. It's there to see if you're going to shrink or rise. Most people let it shrink them. They talk themselves out of their own potential because they're waiting for a feeling of certainty that never comes. They spend years dreaming, planning, preparing, but never doing. And in the end, it's not the doubt that stopped them, it's the fact that they let it win. You don't have to feel ready. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to act. Success is out there waiting for you, but it's moving. It's not standing still, waiting for you to catch up when you're comfortable. It's already on the move, and it's waiting to meet those who are bold enough to step into the unknown, to move even with doubt in their heart. The people who succeed in life are the ones who learn how to walk with their doubts. They feel the fear, they hear the doubts, and they act anyway. And in doing so, they prove to themselves that doubt is not the end, it's just the beginning of the journey. Success doesn't care if you're scared. It only cares that you showed up, that you put in the work, that you kept moving forward, even when the road wasn't clear. So don't wait for doubt to leave. It's not going anywhere. The difference is whether you move with it or let it stop you. The more you move, the more you realize that doubt has no power over you unless you give it power. Success belongs to those who take action in spite of it. It's easy to be strong when everything is going your way. When life is smooth, when the path is clear, when the wind is at your back, anyone can stand tall. But let me tell you, that's not where true strength is built. That's not where resilience is forged. Resilience doesn't come from the easy moments, the comfortable days. No, resilience is born in the struggle, in the pain, in those moments when you're at your lowest and it feels like you've got nothing left. It's in those moments of weakness, when life hits you harder than you expected, when everything you thought was certain falls apart. That's when resilience starts to form. Because it's easy to quit. It's easy to give up when the weight gets too heavy. But every time you choose to stand back up, to push through the pain, you're building something inside you that can't be taken away. You're building a fire, a strength that will carry you through the next storm and the one after that. Weakness doesn't mean failure. We all have moments where we feel broken, where we doubt ourselves, where we question if we've got what it takes. But that's where the work happens. That's where you decide who you really are. It's in those moments when you're tempted to throw in the towel, to say, I can't do this, that you have a choice to let the weakness define you or to let it refine you. You don't become resilient by avoiding struggle. You don't become strong by staying in your comfort zone. You become resilient by embracing the hardship, by facing the pain head on and pushing through it. Every time you choose to keep going, even when your body and mind are screaming at you to stop, you're building a resilience that can't be taught, only earned. Think about it, the greatest warriors aren't made in times of peace. They're made in the heat of battle, when everything is on the line, when they're bloodied and bruised but refuse to stay down. It's the same with you. Life will throw everything at you: loss, failure, heartbreak, disappointment. But every blow, every setback is an opportunity. It's a chance to dig deep, to find out what you're really made of. And what you'll find is that you're stronger than you ever imagined. Resilience isn't about never feeling weak. It's about what you do when you feel weak. It's about standing tall when you want to crumble, about moving forward when every step feels like it's too much. The more you face those moments, the more you endure, the stronger you become. You start to realize that weakness is temporary, but the strength you build from facing it is permanent. That's why you can't run from the hard times. You can't avoid the challenges. They are shaping you, molding you into the person you need to be. Without the struggle, without the pain, there is no growth. And without growth, there is no resilience. So when life knocks you down, when you feel like you can't go on, remember this: every time you get back up, you're proving something to yourself. You're proving that you are more than your circumstances, more than your fears, more than the weakness you feel in the moment. You're proving that you are resilient. And that resilience built in those moments of weakness will carry you further than you ever thought possible. Weak feelings, they creep into your mind when you least expect them. They start small, almost unnoticeable, but the longer you entertain them, the more they grow. They latch onto your thoughts, your actions, your decisions, feeding off your hesitation, your fear, your doubt. They're like parasites living off your potential, draining your energy, and if you're not careful, they'll take over. They'll make you question yourself, second guess your dreams, and talk you out of the very things that could change your life. The thing about these weak feelings is that they don't show up loud and obvious. They whisper. They sneak in with thoughts like, maybe I'm not good enough, or what if I fail at first? They seem harmless, just passing thoughts. But the more you entertain them, the stronger they become. They start controlling your decisions, influencing your actions, holding you back when you should be moving forward. And that's how they win. They grow by feeding on your inaction, on your fear, on your unwillingness to push past the discomfort. You see, weak feelings are deceptive. They make you think they're protecting you, keeping you safe from failure, from embarrassment, from risk. But in reality, they're holding you hostage. They keep you from stepping into your full potential, from taking the risks that lead to growth, from doing the very things you're capable of doing. They keep you small. I think about how a parasite works. It doesn't kill you immediately. It drains you slowly, bit by bit, until one day you wake up and realize you're not living at all, you're just surviving. That's what weak feelings do. They keep you in survival mode, convincing you to play it safe, to stay in your comfort zone, to avoid the pain of failure. But here's the truth, that comfort is a lie. It's a prison dressed up as safety. Every time you give in to those weak feelings, every time you choose to let fear stop you, to let doubt hold you back, you're feeding the parasite. You're letting it grow stronger, letting it sink deeper into your mind until it becomes the voice you listen to more than your own instincts, your own drive, your own ambition. And the longer you let it stay, the harder it is to get rid of. But here's the good news: just like parasites, weak feelings can be starved. They thrive on your inaction, but they can't survive your determination. The moment you decide to act, despite the fear, despite the doubt, despite the weak feelings screaming at you to stop, that's the moment you start starving them. Every step you take in the direction of your dreams, every decision you make to keep pushing forward, weakens their grip on you. It's not easy. These weak feelings don't disappear overnight. They'll try to convince you that they're still in control, that you're too tired, too uncertain, too afraid. But every time you take action in spite of them, you're cutting off their power. You're taking back control. The more you act, the weaker they get. The more you move, the more they shrink. Weak feelings can't survive where there's relentless action. They can't live where there's courage. They can't grow where there's a mindset that says, I'll keep going no matter what. And the best part, once you starve them long enough, they stop showing up as often. They stop having the same power over you. You start to realize that you were never as weak as they made you feel. You were always stronger than they wanted you to believe. So don't let these weak feelings feed off you any longer. Don't let them drain you of your energy, your purpose, your potential. You're bigger than the doubt, stronger than the fear, and more capable than you've ever imagined. Starve those weak feelings with your actions. Every time you push past them, you're taking back what's yours, your strength, your confidence, your future. Let me tell you something important. Your potential doesn't care about how you feel today, tomorrow, or any day. Your potential is bigger than your emotions, bigger than the fear that's holding you back, bigger than the doubt that creeps into your mind when things get tough. Feelings are temporary. They come and go, shift with the weather, change with your mood. But your potential, that's something permanent. It's embedded deep inside you, waiting for you to tap into it, waiting for you to stop listening to the noise in your head and start realizing who you really are. Too often we let our feelings set the limits on what we can do. We wake up feeling tired and suddenly we tell ourselves, I don't have the energy for this. We feel scared and we say, maybe I'm not ready. We feel discouraged and we think maybe this dream isn't for me. But here's the truth. Your feelings are not the truth. They're just passing sensations, here one moment, gone the next. And if you let them run your life, you're letting something fragile dictate the course of something powerful. Your potential is not measured by how you feel on your worst days. It's measured by what you're capable of, by the gifts you've been given, by the heights you can reach if you push past the momentary discomfort. The mistake most people make is thinking that because they feel small, they are small. That because they feel weak, they are weak. But that's a lie. Feelings are deceptive. They want you to think they define you, but they don't. What defines you is what you choose to do, not how you feel while doing it. You see, potential is like a seed planted inside you. It's there, but it needs to be watered, nurtured, and cared for. And you can't do that if you're always waiting for the right feelings to show up. You can't wait until you feel brave to take a risk or until you feel motivated to start working on your dreams. You have to move forward even when the feelings aren't there. Because the truth is, action brings out your potential, not feelings. There will be days when you don't feel like doing anything, when the weight of life feels too heavy. But your potential doesn't disappear on those days. It's still there, waiting for you to rise above how you feel. Waiting for you to remind yourself that you are more than your emotions. Your potential is unlimited, but it demands that you step up. Even when your feelings are telling you to sit down, it demands that you push through, even when every emotion inside you is screaming, stop. Here's something you need to understand. Your potential is meant to challenge you. It's supposed to stretch you beyond your comfort zone, beyond your doubts, beyond your fears. That's how you grow into the person you were meant to be. If you keep letting your feelings set the boundaries of your life, you'll never experience the full scope of what you're capable of. You'll stay small, trapped by emotions that were never meant to have that kind of power over you. You are capable of more than you can imagine, but you'll never know that unless you stop letting your feelings dictate your actions. When fear tells you to stay safe, you move anyway. When doubt tells you to quit, you keep going. When discouragement whispers, this isn't for you, you remind yourself that your potential is bigger than that voice in your head. Your potential doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It doesn't depend on how confident you feel today. It's always there, waiting for you to push past the excuses, past the self-doubt, past the feelings that are trying to hold you back. Your potential is bigger than all of that. It's who you are at your core. It's the greatness inside you waiting to be unleashed. So the next time you're tempted to let your feelings decide your future, stop and remind yourself of this. Your potential is far greater than your feelings. Don't live small because your emotions are telling you to play it safe. Step into your potential, act on it, nurture it, and you'll see just how much more you're capable of than you ever thought possible. Doubt is always lurking in the shadows. It's that voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, that you don't have what it takes, that you're not ready. It's always looking for a way in, and if you give it space, it'll grow. But there's one thing that can silence doubt every time: discipline. Discipline is the killer of doubt. It doesn't wait for you to feel ready or confident. It doesn't care about how uncertain or afraid you are. Discipline shows up, does the work, and drowns out the noise in your head. You see, doubt thrives in the absence of action. It feeds off hesitation, procrastination, and inconsistency. The more you stand still, the louder doubt gets. But discipline is about movement. It's about doing what needs to be done, no matter how you feel, no matter what the voices in your head are telling you. Every time you choose discipline, you take a step forward, and with every step, doubt gets weaker. Discipline doesn't need motivation. It doesn't wait for inspiration to strike. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline stays. Discipline is what gets you up in the morning when your mind is telling you to stay in bed. It's what pushes you to take that extra step when your body is telling you you're tired. It's what makes you stick to the plan, even when doubt is trying to convince you it's not worth it. Doubt tries to convince you to play it safe, to keep your dreams small, to avoid risks. But discipline is about commitment. It's about making a decision and sticking with it day after day, no matter how hard it gets. When you commit to discipline, doubt doesn't stand a chance, because doubt is only powerful when you entertain it, when you listen to it, when you give it space to breathe. But discipline doesn't give it that room. Discipline fills your days with action, with focus, with purpose. When you live with discipline, doubt starts to shrink, because you're no longer relying on how you feel in the moment. You're relying on a deeper commitment. Discipline doesn't ask if you're ready. It doesn't ask if you feel like it today. It just moves. It keeps you in motion. And the more you move, the less doubt can cling to you. It can't keep up with someone who's putting in the work every single day without fail. There's a reason why discipline is so powerful. It's because it's built on consistency. And consistency is the one thing doubt can't break. It's easy to let doubt stop you when you're inconsistent, when you're only showing up some of the time. But when you've trained yourself to show up every day, no matter what, doubt starts to lose its grip. It doesn't have the same power over someone who's committed to the process, someone who's willing to put in the work, whether they feel like it or not. You can't always control your doubts, but you can control your discipline. And the more disciplined you become, the less room doubt has to take over. Because here's the truth, doubt is only as strong as your inaction. The moment you start moving, the moment you start taking control of your actions, doubt loses its voice. Discipline is a decision. It's a decision to keep going when doubt tells you to stop, to push harder when everything in you says to quit. It's a decision to trust the process, to believe that the work you're putting in will pay off, even when the results haven't shown up yet. Doubt wants you to quit before you ever see the fruits of your labor. But discipline knows that the reward comes to those who stay the course, who keep grinding even when the road is long, even when the path is hard. And that's why discipline kills doubt. It doesn't give it time to grow. It doesn't leave space for fear to take root. It's too busy moving forward, too focused on the goal. Doubt might try to knock on the door, but when discipline is in charge, it doesn't answer. Discipline just keeps working, keeps moving, keeps building. And in that relentless pursuit, doubt doesn't stand a chance. So when doubt creeps in, when it tries to slow you down, you answer it with discipline. You put in the work, you stay committed, and you keep showing up every single day. Because in the end, it's not the loudest voice in your head that wins the most consistent action you take. Discipline is what gets you there. Discipline is what silences doubt. Life will try to tell you a story about who you are. People will try to define you, put you in a box, limit you to what they think you can do. Circumstances will try to convince you that you're stuck, that where you are is where you'll always be. But here's the truth: you control the narrative. You are the author of your own story. No one else gets to write it for you. Not your past, not your failures, not your setbacks. You hold the pen and you decide where the story goes from here. Too many people live their lives as if they're characters in someone else's book, letting other people's opinions, expectations, and judgments dictate the direction of their lives. They get stuck in the roles others have assigned them, forgetting that they have the power to rewrite the script at any moment. They forget that they can choose a new direction, a new purpose, a new identity. But the moment you realize that you're in control, everything changes. You see, your life is a story, and like any story, it has twists, turns, highs, and lows. But just because the chapter you're in right now is tough doesn't mean it defines the whole book. Just because you face struggles, challenges, or failure doesn't mean that's how the story ends. You have the power to change the plot, to shift the narrative, to decide what happens next. The world will try to tell you who you are, but only you know who you're meant to be. The voices around you might say, you're not smart enough, you're not strong enough, you'll never make it. But those voices don't know your potential, don't know what's inside you, don't know the depth of your resilience. The story they're trying to write for you is too small, too limited. You weren't born to live by someone else's script. You were born to create your own path, to write your own story, to control your own narrative. Even your past will try to hold you back. It will remind you of every mistake, every wrong turn, every time you've fallen short. It will tell you that because you failed before, you'll fail again. But your past doesn't get to control your future. It's just one chapter in a much bigger story. You are not defined by what happened yesterday. You are defined by what you do today and tomorrow. You control how the story unfolds from here. You decide how you'll respond to the challenges, how you'll rise from the setbacks, how you'll turn adversity into strength. When you take control of the narrative, you stop being a victim of your circumstances. You stop letting life happen to you and you start happening to life. You start making choices based on where you want to go, not where you've been. You start shaping your reality with intention, with purpose, with a vision of the person you're becoming. And once you take control of that story, nothing can stop you. Every great story has moments of struggle. Every hero faces doubt, fear, and failure. But what makes them great isn't that they never struggled, it's that they didn't let the struggle define them. They took control of their narrative. They decided that no matter how hard the journey, no matter how many times they fell, they would keep moving forward. And that's what you have to do. You have to own your story, even when it's hard, even when you feel like giving up. You have to keep writing, keep pushing, keep believing in the person you're destined to be. The narrative you control isn't just about your actions, it's about your mindset. How you choose to see yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you respond to adversity. Do you let failure define you, or do you see it as a stepping stone? Do you let doubt control your decisions, or do you rise above it? The story you tell yourself is the most important one, because that's the story that will shape your reality. If you believe you're capable, if you believe you're worthy, if you believe you can achieve great things, then that's the story you'll live. But if you let the doubts, the fears, the voices of others take over, that's the story you'll settle for. And let me tell you, settling is the enemy of greatness. Don't settle for a story that doesn't reflect the potential you know is inside you. Don't settle for a narrative that keeps you small, that keeps you in the same place, that keeps you living someone else's vision for your life. You are the creator of your destiny. The pen is in your hand, the script is unwritten, and you have the power to shape it any way you want. So write the story of strength, of resilience, of courage. Write the story of someone who overcomes, who pushes through, who achieves greatness, not because it was easy, but because they refused to give up. Write the story of someone who didn't let doubt, fear, or failure dictate the ending. You control the narrative. And as long as you remember that, the story you write will be one of triumph, no matter what challenges you face. This speech and key points capture that powerful tone that calls for action, perseverance, and determination without excuses. It focuses on the idea of overcoming weakness with strength of will and consistent action, which is often a theme in Denzel Washington's motivational speeches.